Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Can You Be Fallout 4 Survival as a Chinese soldier. For this challenge, only allowed to wear Chinese armor, use Chinese weapons like the Chinese officer sword, Chinese grenade launcher, and General Tso's revenge. With all that being said, let's get to it. Starting out, I decided to name myself after the first Empress of China. I would try to pronounce the name, but I'm scared I would sound incredibly racist, so I'm not going to. I picked a pretty balanced build because I have a lot more unique weapons, but I decided just to go for the grenade launcher for most of the run, spoiler alert. Anyway, after that we went into the vault. After going into the vault, I got to watch my husband die like normal. Yay, it's not Fallout 4 without watching your spouse die. Then it's time to lock some cockroaches behind doors like normal. But since this is survival, they actually do damage with their tiny bites, so you have to be very careful. And it's not really difficult, it's just tedious, closing the doors. I do mess up a few times, but I'm able to get past the vault, build myself a bed so I can actually save, and sleeping is important because after all, this is Fallout 4 survival. You know how it is. Then went to the I'm Special book and decided to pick Charisma so I can get the Lone Wanderer perk, which, is very overpowered. Then I began to build shelves level up. Some people don't like it when I do this, but I don't really care because will absolutely need sneak perks to survive, especially since I can't wear any armor until I get the Chinese stealth armor, which is very hard to get as itself. So, yeah, if you're gonna complain about that, it's my video, so just click off. I then went to Paladin Dan and watched him kill some ghouls and basically hid behind him the entire mission because I needed some money. So the best way to get that is to sell a bunch of fusion cells. And I needed money for the Chinese officer sword. I mean, I probably could just collect pipe weapons and sell that. It's not that expensive. But honestly, this is way more fun. And I like watching Paladin Dan suffer and fight synths. There's an exploit where you can just sell all the synths fusion cells after Paladin Dan fights them, or keep them for yourself. After that, I managed to level up a bit and go off and finally buy the Chinese officer sword. We finally have a weapon for this run, but I am still naked and afraid, pun intended. So, we gotta go get the Chinese grenade launcher. But this will not be easy. To get the Chinese grenade launcher, we have to do a special quest, which is added into the game's new next-gen update. And to do this quest, I have to investigate some raiders and find out what they're up to. So I hide behind a robot I reset and watch him kill some raiders. This took a lot of time of me just hiding, but eventually after the robot deals with the raiders one by one, and I was getting bored of waiting for like 15 minutes straight at this point, just watching a slow robot beat people to death, although I will admit it is quite fun. I was able to snatch a piece of paper and pick up a grenade launcher that I cannot use. After snatching the piece of paper, I learned what the raiders were up to and that they were going to attack Sige, so I went to watch Sige battle the raiders as he thanks me for helping him even though I did literally nothing. After that, I was able to pick up the notes and find out who the raiders were and stuff like that, and get the piggy bank launcher, which is not why I'm here. And then more raiders showed up, which scared the crap out of me, so I hid behind a wall as they threw baseball grenades at me. Damn, I love the next gen update. As then, I was able to get the Chinese grenade launcher. Now, with this, my plan is to use stealth and explosives so I can get the stealth armor. And Sid sells these grenades really cheap. Like, Sid is my man. Without him, I couldn't do this challenge, so shout out to him. As then, I went and hit on a rock and just shot them with grenades, which worked out pretty well. Apparently, even gunners are not immune to being blown up in the face. Who knew? Well, I guess you just learn something every day. I did die a few times because, like I said before, I'm not wearing any armor, and these are gunners you're supposed to encounter in a very high level. But luckily for me, the launcher is overpowered. I did run out of ammo though, so I had to go get some resupply. But as I was doing that, a robot caught me and called me a commie, which I kinda was. But I told him to F off, and he thought I was an American. I am truly a great spy. After that, I was able to get the Chinese stealth armor, and look at me. Wow, I look sick. This armor is really good. I mean, you do kind of have to pay for it, because it's a Creation Club item, but it's not really that much, and if you have a few credits, it's definitely worth it in my opinion. As I tested out my weapon and armor on some ghouls, And also, to be honest with you, I was just having fun at this point because the grenade launcher is a lot of fun to mess around with. I am not going to lie. After that, I decided to go and upgrade the grenade launcher. Well, not really upgrade, just paint it in communist colors, which is an upgrade to me. God, these videos are going to put me on a watch list. As then, I managed to fight off some raiders. I only would use the Chinese officer's sword when I had no other option because the grenade launcher did so much more damage, and on survival, it's just not worth it. And now it's time for me to go and help the railroad because the railroad has the ballistic weave, but to do that, I have to fight through ghouls, which is not that fun. Even with the grenade launcher, I was in extremely close quarters, so throughout this entire fight, my butt was clenched. Eventually, I did make it to the railroad, and I told them I had no idea who they are, and they gave me a test to join. As to join them, I needed to go back to their old safe house and recover something for them. So I met up with Deacon, and me and Deacon were off. 2 fellow spies off on a mission. As then we met with this rude guy that told us that Sense overran our base, so I'm gonna have to take care of them by blowing them up. And yeah, the hidden explosive build is interesting because I'm invisible so they can't really see me, but as soon as I let off an explosion, they kind of hear it, so I'm caught instantly and they try to find me. If you want to do a sneak build, I suggest you use a sniper rifle or a pistol and not a grenade launcher because, well, it can get you killed like that. But overall, the explosion sneak build is interesting. Even though it's challenging, it does have its perks and did allow me to find what we were looking for, getting the prototype and bringing it back to Desdemona. And Deacon tries to lie his butt off and I try to cover for him, but my charisma sucks so no one believes me. After that, it's time to do some more missions for the railroad so I can get the ballistic weave for my armor and truly become overpowered. As then, I went off to help a synth trying to escape and find a new life. But to do that, we had to clear out a bunch of enemies for some reason. We're able to get him here, and the Commonwealth's full of enemies, but we have to clear out this part. Don't understand that, but whatever. I was able to kill some raiders, super mutants, and basically anything on our way at this point. I even accidentally shot the person I was supposed to protect. Yeah, not a good look for me. But after that, I was thanked, and it was time for me to do another railroad quest. Oh yeah. This one was making a safe house. So to do the safe house, I had to clear out these mole rats. And since mole rats were fast and they were immediately in front of me, and they were extremely weak enemies, it was best to use the Chinese officer's sword. As then I put down some turrets to defend our new safe house, and everything was finally right in the world. Oh yeah. After that, I then went off to one of our other bases that was overrun by synths and are now overrun by raiders to find some more updates on what happened to some of our previous agents. As this wasn't that hard. The explosions took care of most of them. The only difficult part was the Deathclaw, but the Deathclaw has this weakness. It can't go through doors, so I was able to hide behind a door and shoot it with explosives. And then I decided to go and help the Minutemen. Since the Minutemen, well, are literally made up of farmers and workers, it probably makes sense for me to help them during this run. So I went into the Museum of Freedom and wasted 2 grenades. No 3, no 4. Yeah, this is really not a good look for me. I am not gonna lie. Somehow a little tiny box is able to block an explosive. I don't know how that works or why that works, but Fallout 4 is Fallout 4, and Bethesda is Bethesda, so we're just not gonna question it. As then I managed to get a pretty cool car explosion and go outside and fight the raiders. I couldn't use power armor and a minigun, obviously, so I can only use a grenade launcher. I say only, but the grenade launcher was more than enough, even for a Deathclaw, which tried to kill me, obviously. I was finally able to upgrade my Chinese stealth armor. Now, it's really good against ballistic weapons, but it has 0 protection against energy weapons, and since I'm going to be fighting the Institute, I needed the ballistic weave. After that, I went off to do some more Minutemen quests, because, well, I need to help the Minutemen for this, because, well, I'm going to side with the Minutemen. It made the most sense. I also decided to sword fight this girl for some reason, and lose a lot of health and almost died to a grenade. That was kind of embarrassing. I then make it in, and manage to blow up their raider leader, by just sneaking up on him. But then a car blows up and kills me, because I stood next to it because I am an absolute idiot. Next time around, I stand away from the car, and I'm able to actually complete the mission. After that, I talk to Preston, and Preston tells me that I'm now the general of the Minutemen. Quite a nice promotion, not gonna lie. As then I deal with some ghouls and clear them out so we can settle up a new settlement. Usually they point you to the mole rat place, but maybe because I already cleared it out or I'm a higher level, who's to say, I clear out ghouls instead. It's not really that hard, just more annoying, I guess, or more tedious, you could say, because, well, I had to be careful not to blow myself up, just like this mission. Anytime I was in closed doors, it was hard not to blow yourself up, especially with an explosion. Eventually, though, after completing a bunch of Minutemen quests, I was able to storm the castle. And this was a lot easier than I expected. I thought this was going to be an absolute nightmare, but luckily my grenades blow them up with one hit, so all I had to do was stay far away, and since my alerts are already pretty slow, it went down pretty easily. But that couldn't be said for the queen. Even though the queen was pretty slow, her acid attack was a pretty far range. I tried to use as many healing supplies as I had on me at the time, but spoiler alert, apparently being melted alive and eating some food and taking drugs is not enough, and you look like that. Yeah, not the best time. Eventually, though, I am able to do the killing blow and kill the Mirelurk Queen. After that, I decide it's time to finally start the main story, so I go over and help Nick. But to do that, I have to kill some triggermen to rescue him. You probably played the game before. I just narrate in case someone hasn't, or in case someone, forgets. It's always nice. As I just sit here and wait and blow them up from this tiny doorway. That way I don't blow myself up. And since I have Chinese stealth armor, it's pretty easy for me not to be seen until they see the explosives, but most of them die before then. And since I'm in a pretty big area, it's a lot easier just to blow them up until I actually get into the vault. This time, I'll have to be careful. While I'm in the vault, if I shoot them when I'm too close, I die. So I try to sneak past as many of them as possible before pulling the trigger, so that way I don't accidentally blow myself up. As Nick was having an interesting conversation, I then interrupted it with a grenade. As then I barged in and demanded that he helps the Chinese government. Nick didn't like that idea, but he had no other choice, so he agreed to help. As then some triggermen came in, so I simply blew them up. As I did have to fight a few of them with my sword, luckily they had baseball bats, so they didn't do too much damage. But like I said before, in survival, everything does a lot more damage, so it's just best to blow them up. And Skinny Malone took 2 whole explosives to the face, which is stronger than a normal Mirelurk, so good job, Skinny Malone, good job. As then I talked to Nick, and he told me about Kellogg and the case and yada yada yada. I then stole a key, broke into Kellogg's house, took a cigarette, and then it was off to track him. But I already knew where he was. Spoiler alert, he's in Fort Hagen. So I just googled where Fort Hagen was and went in and blew up some synths. Now, the stealth abilities did come in handy a lot, but the synths had a bad habit of sneaking up on you, which freaked me the hell out and caused me to blow myself up. I do that a lot indoors. Fort Hagen isn't really that hard, especially with a grenade launcher. The hard part is not blowing yourself up in such a tiny area. I then meet Kellogg and start to shoot explosives, but Kellogg just destroys me because apparently his tiny cover of just a desk is able to block grenades. I don't know how that works, but apparently it does, and he kills me with his pistol. Yeah. Second attempt, I then get closer and make sure the grenade hits him directly, and then fire it at him. He takes 3 whole grenade shots to kill. Kellogg in survival is a beast. Each one of these grenades at this point, I think, does around 250 damage. So to take 3 of those to the face is just insane to me. I then blow up what's left in the room, get his brain, go back, and upgrade the Chinese stealth armor. As then, I can take even more damage from energy weapons and normal weapons. Very nice. As then I go back to the castle and meet Ronnie Shaw. As it's time, we set up some artillery. But before we do that, we have to fight a robot. First time, Sarge absolutely destroys me. I do manage to get some good damage on him, but I blow myself up. And my head comes off. That's very, very nice. I then try again. And, yeah, I am forced to take cover from a giant robot shooting at me with machine guns. Who would have thought? As with power of cover and ducking and weaving, and I ran into him once on accident, I really thought I was dead, I was able to blow him up. But I forgot they blow up after they die. So yeah, I die again. Hooray. Eventually though, I'm able to do it. So then I go out and set up some artillery and watch it blow up some cars. Hip hip, hooray! Hip hip, hooray! As then I find a Chinese submarine. I might as well help out the general because, well, he is a Chinese soldier like me. So, after talking to him, I then went out to fix his submarine, which he needs a nuclear warhead and some fission cables. And the fission cables are guarded by the Forge, who have flamethrowers that tear apart my armor, even though I have rank 3 of the ballistic weave. So, survival is just so much fun. Yay, and I swear, these Forge are way stronger than I remember. Even on survival, I don't ever remember them being this difficult. They take multiple explosions to the face. Some of them feel like they're stronger than Kellogg. I do not know why they are this strong. Maybe it's because of the next gen update, because I don't remember them ever being this powerful. Or maybe I'm just having a bad memory. If you know in the comments, please let me know. As then I'm forced to retreat sometimes, but I eventually make it in and have to deal. As I'm able to do quite a bit of damage to him, but I run away because I am very scared. I do not want to die. I take a pot shot and leave, and no joke, maybe when I shot at him, I blew up a barrel or something, or a gas canister. But at first, I hear gunshots from there, but then I don't. So I walk up, and they're all dead. I don't know why they're all dead. I swear to God, I did not cheat. I don't know what happened or how that happened, but I'll take it. As then, I go in, and I take the abandoned coil. As then, I'm able to, well, sneak up on some ghouls and kill them. I mean, they're crewmen now. It feels kind of wrong to kill fellow Chinese soldiers, but they are ghouls, basically zombies forced to suffer forever. So maybe it's a good thing to kill them. I don't know. As I'm able to sneak past his second lieutenant without him seeing me, because stealth is pretty overpowered. As then I'm able to get the nuclear warheads, as I put them in the right order. I thought about putting in the wrong order just for fun, but if I blew myself up, I'd lose all my progress, because I haven't slept in a while, so I decided against it. As then I got these, which I still don't know how they work. I thought if you're near an ocean, it will like summon his submarine or whatever, but that wouldn't work. I don't know how those beacon things work. If you know down in the comments, let me know. Anyway, I then went to Memory Den and found out that the instant you were using teleportation, so I had to enter the glowing so I can talk to Virgil and discover how to get into the Institute, since Virgil was an ex-scientist. I then had to sneak past some death claws and other stuff because the glowing sea is so scary it makes you shit your pants, which I did as I died a few times. I even got killed by a legendary Deathclaw just trying to get to the glowing sea once. That was fun. I'm glad that happened. Eventually, though, I did make it to Virgil, and I talked to him. And Virgil told me what I needed to do. Eventually, I was able to sneak out of the glowing sea, almost dead, having all my stats red. As now it's time to go kill a courser. But before I can do that, I'm over encumbered from lack of sleep. But luckily I have the Aqua Girl perk, so I had to swim up a river, which took me 30 minutes, no joke, because I'm so over encumbered, until I can finally find a farm and sleep and be able to move. Hooray! Survival is so much fun. I mean, it's kind of my fault for not really, sleeping as much, but screw you, I'll complain anyway. As I then sneak in and kill some gunners, this is the easiest time I've ever had. Green Tech Genetics is a joke when you're invisible and have a grenade launcher. And the Courser took 2 grenades, and Kellogg took 3. Therefore, Kellogg is stronger than a Courser, confirmed. As then I took the Courser chick to Tinker Tom, as he's able to decode it. As then I go back to Virgil, as this time I take the river route and is less dangerous. As then I go to all my companions, and recruit them and send them off to the castle. Technically, they will not be my companion during the fight, so I do not count this as cheating. And it feels like more of a battle here, so I feel like for the cinematic reason, I will do that. As then I go to the castle and build some laser turrets, well, just move the laser turrets we already have and set up some normal turrets. As then I teleport into the Institute. As it's time for the battle against them, I'm honestly kind of excited. I haven't destroyed the Institute with the Minutemen in a long time, so I meet with Sean and blow him the hell up. As then I blow up some synths on my way out. Not this one though, this one's smart, just kidding. He dies too, but he takes 2 explosions to kill. These synths are really tanky at this point. I don't know if it's because it's survival or what, but I don't remember them being this tanky. As then we go to the castle and set up our defenses and then go to defend it. Battle for the castle is always a fun one for me. I mean, just something about staying here and fighting synth after synth after synth. My favorite battle in Fallout is the Battle of Hoover Dam because it feels like a real war. This battle just feels like me fighting waves of robots. It doesn't feel like a real battle, you know what I mean? But it is still very fun. And I like to hide like a little B-word and just take pot shots at them, which is very, very, very nice. As I just shoot at them from time to time and blow them up. As the fight went on though, it did get repetitive after a bit. After all, there's only so many synths I can blow up without me getting bored. But overall, I give this fight a 7 out of 10. It's a good fight, but it does drag on a little bit. Defending the castle is always fun though, and if I didn't have an OP grenade launcher, it would probably be a 10 out of 10 because it'll be a lot harder to destroy these synths wave after wave after wave. But if you just destroy them in 1 or 2 hits, then it just becomes kind of less fun, to be honest with you. The coursers even went down without a hitch because my companions would fight them and I would know where they are. As then I completed it 100% defended. As then I met up with Sturgis and he told me where the Institute was, as it was time for me to swim down to the Institute and implant a nuclear bomb and blow it up. So yeah, fun I guess. I then used my grenade launcher to blow up some turrets, which is nice, very, very nice. Then I go down and blow up some synths on my way there, which is nice, very, very nice. And then I teleport the Minutemen in, as me and the Minutemen go off on our crusade to destroy the Institute. As then we go down, and I simply just fellow Minutemen as I blow them up with a grenade launcher, which is nice. I mean, I try to avoid friendly fire, but every once in a while I would blow up my fellow Minutemen. As we were able to push through, and eventually I had to fight some gorillas, because for some reason, this game always loves making you kill endangered animals. I guess they're robot gorillas, which is better or worse, because you could look at it at making them more endangered, but it doesn't really matter, as I use my strategy of running away, and this time actually making PETA happy by not killing gorillas. As then I hide in this corner, and if they get too close, I blow them up, and I let the Minutemen do most of the work for me. Anytime a Minuteman dies, another one would teleport in, making it so I have infinite supply. And a Minutemen get like 2 or 1-shotted, so there's a lot of dead bodies. Eventually I find Sean, who has become a deity and is floating in the sky. Scared and wanting to get out of here, I then put in the evacuation code and open up the door so I can go and blow everything up. As then I take a nap so I can actually save, so if I die it won't be a big deal. As then I blow up the synths in front of me, make it to the core, and place the nuke. And take a lot of radiation damage, which I didn't need to take. After that, I have my robot son join me, and I try to convince him of the ways of the Chinese government. Please, China, do not go after me. And I blow up the Institute. Proven once and for all, just kidding. Because there's one more thing I want to do. Since the Brotherhood are literal fascists who try to destroy synths and goals, I decide it would be fun to take them on. So, I decide to blow up the Penguin. So how it works is, you gotta piss off the Brotherhood by killing a named NPC, then you gotta build some artillery across 5 different settlements and assign one of your settlers to them. And if you do all that, you can blow up the Penguin. Also, you have to do this after destroying the Institute, because it's like another quest after that, and I highly recommend it if you get the Minutemen ending, because, well, it just adds more flavor to the game, and it's just a fun quest to do overall. As then I watch the Penguin blow up, which never gets old. Oh my god, just watching that explosion always makes me smile. Then I blow up some vertibirds as they come flying in, which is very, very nice. As my grenade launcher does decent damage against them, and I have my explosions up to 100, so this quest is kind of easy. I mean, 99% of the time the Brotherhood soldiers don't land, and I do die a few times, but that's only when a vertibird lands on my head, because sometimes when they crash, you can't predict when they're gonna go, so you just gotta run the hell out of there. But something bad does happen later on. As I'm defending the castle, and my turns do most of the work, eventually, after blowing up some vertibirds, the Brotherhood, they just stop coming. I eventually get to 90% of the quest, but no matter how much I wait, no matter if I sleep or come back, the Brotherhood don't show up. So I'm just gonna call it here. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hope you all had a good day. And what challenges would you like next? I hope you all had an amazing day. Peace out.